Yeah.
Yeah. Reminds me of Dumb and Dumber. Mock. Yeah.
Ping. Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah. Hey, it's Sue.
And Megan in the restricted section.
And today we're doing Josh's Melon Book Tag.
Yes. And we were tagged by Josh from Literary Gladiators. And he's the one who came up with the original, obviously.
Right. So we'll put his video below.
Down below.
And this is one of his foodie book tags, and it's all about melons.
Gotta love melons.
Love them melons.
Love them melons.
And since we're talking about melons, we found this Watermelon Shandy from Leinenkugel.
We did.
Weiss beer brewed with honey and natural watermelon and other flavors. So let's check it out.
Let's do it.
We already tried it, actually.
We already sipped it.
I like it.
I do too.
It's really good.
It's nice.
Nice, summer, refreshing. It tastes like real watermelon, I think.
It does, yeah. It's like light and fruity, and
So yeah, that's pretty tasty.
it's pretty delicious.
All right, so let's get into the melons.
Let's get into them melons.
The first melon is watermelon.
What is your ideal place to read in summer, and what kind of book?
I said inside.
Because it's fucking hot, man.
It's hot outside, and also I live right by a playground. Like,
Can't read outside.
I'm not gonna go in my backyard and listen to children screaming while I'm trying to read. So yeah, I read inside, and I'll read anything in the summer. I mean, I probably don't want to read a book that's like, you know, Christmas themed or something, or winter themed.
Right.
But I don't really discriminate in the summer versus any other time.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I mean, realistically, my answer is probably similar to yours. Like, I'm going to read on my couch, and I'm going to read whatever
Right.
season it is. But I was like, you know, ideally, it would be wonderful if I could read on the beach and just read, like, silly little reads from time to time in the summer.
Yeah.
That's not what
That
I
would be
do,
nice.
but it would be nice.
Yeah. Next is Cantaloupe.
Which is a sweet, good-hearted character.
I do not like cantaloupe.
I like Cantaloupe.
I had a revelation the other day because, like, I've never liked cantaloupe. When I was a kid, I always just, there's something about it I didn't like. And I hadn't eaten it in a really long time, but I just ate it again for the first time in I don't know how long, like a month ago or so. And I realized why I hate it. And it's because it smells like garbage.
It
Like
smells
literal
like sweet
garbage.
rot.
It does.
Yeah.
And that just really, I can't deal with that.
I think that's fair. That's reasonable.
Anyway,
Why?
a sweet, good-hearted character. I chose the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Yeah, that's kind of the point, is that, like, he wants a heart, but he's already really sweet and good.
He's had a heart all along.
Yes.
I chose Hassan from The Kite Runner. This is, there's a rich little boy in here, and Hassan is his friend, but also, like, his servant. His dad is the servant for this other boy's, like, rich family. And so they grow up together, and Hassan is the, like, sweet, kind-hearted of the two, I think. He's more so than the rich little boy.
Next is Honeydew.
Which is a work recommended to you by a spouse or partner.
My boyfriend keeps telling me to read The Trial by Franz Kafka. I haven't read it yet. He also keeps telling me to read The Stand by Stephen King and East of Eden.
Oh.
All of which I've heard are great, but I haven't read any of them yet. So
there's that. My husband recommended Homeland by R.A. Salvatore, which is about a D&D character, because we were going to start playing D&D, and I was going to play a drow, and this book is about Dritz, who is a drow. So I read it, and it was pretty good. I liked it. It was good, like, light reading.
all right, next is Horned Melon.
Well, a great work written by a writer outside of their main genre.
And I chose The Elements of Style by Strunk and White, which is a fantastic little style guide, and written partially by E.B. White, who generally wrote children's books. He wrote Charlotte's Web and Stuart Little.
I loved Charlotte's Web when I was little. A little bit. And I said The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. This was his first novel.
His first, fiction.
Fictional novel, because he wrote, I think, nonfiction IT computer
Yeah, it was
shit.
like guidebooks for computer programming.
Yeah. This is very different than that. And I thought this was very good. I would have liked to have seen, there's 12 orphans, and they each study, a catalog of knowledge. I would have liked to have seen a book for each one of the 12 kids, and then have that be, the come-together novel.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I saw because people asked if there would be a sequel, and he said, probably.
That I would read the shit out of that.
Well, I feel like it kind of left on, a bit of an open note where there could be a sequel.
It definitely did.
But anyway. Next is Casaba. Is that how you say that? Casaba?
I think so. I don't even know what the fuck kind of melon that is.
I don't either.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know what a horned melon is either.
I can say I've never had it in my mouth. So, Casaba is a dry work with a strong message.
And I picked, I don't know if you, I thought this was kind of dry, and it's The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. Her writing doesn't have a whole lot of frills or anything, and a lot of people think it's beautiful. I didn't agree.
Here's the thing, I don't.
But she definitely has a strong message in here of she's talking about sort of the evils of capitalism. Also, she shows the bad parts of this anarchist communist society as well, but she's definitely a little bit more harsh on the capitalists. And also I think she's kind of saying we should all work together and set aside our differences or whatnot.
Unite.
Yeah, but I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, but fuck it. So for this, I said Darkness at Noon by Arthur Ketzler. This is a book about this man who's apprehended, I think, during Stalin's purges, which it says on the back of the book, in case you were curious. And he's imprisoned, and so it's kind of it's really philosophical, and there's a lot of kind of tedious discussions about the ins and outs of communism and, the individual human being versus, doing these kind of horrible things for the greater good. So I thought it was a little dry, but it had a powerful message. I liked it.
Quiggles.
Quiggle Bear. You're so whittle. When I have my whittle dog on me, it doesn't feel like he's whittle.
Okay, next is Crenshaw.
A book of multiple stories that does a great job connecting as one.
And I chose Brief Interviews with Hideous Men by David Foster Wallace. I thought that this collection was, it worked really well together. There is a recurring segment in here that is Brief Interviews with Hideous Men, is that, but then the rest of it is just short stories involving men and their interactions with women. Yeah, but I thought they worked really well, made a cohesive collection there.
I like that. Yeah. I said The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers because I can't go too long without bringing that book up, and also because I think it did a really great job of weaving together all these different stories and races and different types of species into a cohesive unit, because it's really about them and their relationships with each other, and so it took a lot of different worlds and personalities, and I think it put it together really well.
Alright, next is Canary Melon.
A work that gave a strong warning.
And I said A Planet for Rent by Yas. And yeah, he's definitely giving a warning about dictatorships, totalitarian type of governments. In that book, he's specifically talking about Cuba, but yeah, it's definitely a warning. Danger.
Danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Danger.
High voltage.
High voltage. I said The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, because this is just too real for our political situation right now. But yeah, I'm sure everyone knows what this is, especially because the Hulu original series recently came out and it's generating a lot of buzz. But
Yeah.
that is really well done too, by the way, the TV show. But yeah, it's the TV show, like I watched the first episode and then like about 3/4 of the way through the first episode, I got filled with like this overwhelming sense of like anxiety and dread, and I was like, oh God.
Next is Santa Claus. Is that a melon?
Is that a melon or Josh? Like, are you high? Just throwing random shit in here to see if we notice. A melon called Santa Claus. That's a great book you got as a Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday present.
And I said Tequila Mockingbird, which I just got this Christmas, and it's by Tim Federle.
Federle?
I don't know. And it's cocktails with a literary twist, and it's really fun. Like they're all very punny, which is great. This one's called The Yellow Wall Banger. Romeo and Julep.
Don't tell Julia.
Bridget Jones's Daiquiri. And the joy of sex on the beach.
I'd say it's probably not getting sand in your vagina.
Rye and Prejudice. Love in the Time of Kahlua. They're great.
That's a great name. I have Warm Worlds and Otherwise by James Tiptree Jr., which Sue actually got for me for Christmas. Yes.
I think, yeah.
I was like, was it my birthday or Christmas?
Remember.
I can't remember. My birthday's a holiday too. But yeah, this is just a collection of short stories by James Tiptree Jr., who is actually a woman, and that is a pseudonym. So this is very cool. I have not read it yet, though.
Next is Watermelon.
Which work makes you feel the coldest?
My boss was in the news because he grew a giant watermelon a couple years ago.
That's a very Ozarkian thing to have happen. That's a very Midwestern thing.
Kind of, except watermelon, like we don't eat those here. I think they're a Chinese thing.
Oh.
I think. My boss is Chinese, so I'd never heard of them before. So I kind of assumed that it was
A Chinese thing.
because I'd never heard of a watermelon until he was in the news. I was like, oh.
Damn, that's a big ass watermelon.
But anyway, for a work that makes me feel the coldest, I chose Winter's Bone by Daniel Woodrell. She has to like trek through feet of snow in here, and like at one point she stops in a cave and takes her clothes off and builds a fire to warm up. It's real hillbilly shit up in here. And it's set here in the Ozarks. So it also makes me feel a little cold because it's a lot about meth and it's a little too close to home. Not that I really know anyone who does meth, but it's a big problem here.
It's too real.
It's kind of hard you can't go to Walmart without seeing someone tweaked out, really.
Yeah, it's rough.
So, which Walmart's Walmart,
But yeah, Ozarks Walmart, something special.
yeah.
I said 1984 by George Orwell. Again, just because of current events, I tried to start like rereading this in January, and I had to not because it was kind of chilling.
Yeah. All right, next is Golden Prize,
which is an award winner from the last year that you want to read.
And I have no answer for this because I don't even know what books won awards for the most part. I know that The Underground Railroad won the Pulitzer, right? But I've already read that,
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't pay attention to awards, really.
I really don't either. Like, I did a whole bunch of Googling just so I could, like, have an answer to this question.
I started to Google and then I was like, this is too much work.
I'm tired. So I thought, like, the 5th season by I can't read my own writing. Jemisin? Sounded
Sounds right.
Yeah, it sounded interesting, but like I hadn't heard of it before I did my like Google search because I also don't really pay attention to what books win awards or anything. So
Yeah. All right, last question, or second to last, is what's your favorite melon?
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. I'm sure I just spent all that time hating on it. I said watermelon. I gotta be honest, I'm not like a huge melon fan in general.
Yeah,
I like
neither.
John Mellencamp.
Before or after the cougar?
During
the cougar.
Yeah, but I do like watermelon. I just don't eat it very often. And I like honeydew, but I don't love it.
Yeah, melon's like not one of my favorite things. I like it. So last thing is, who do we tag?
Oh, fuck.
Of course we didn't think about this ahead of time, because why would we? Let's tag some people who have some nice melons.
Yes.
Just kidding, let's not do that.
So first we're going to tag Graham from Mega Man Chief Fan.
Graham, show us your melons. Like the sausage tag all over again.
I know. We can't be trusted with food tags.
We only look like adults.
And only barely.
Only barely.
We're going to tag Devin from Indie Insomniac. I just
Yes.
realized we said we're going to tag people with nice melons.
Tag
Tag two
dudes.
boys.
Show us your melons, Devin.
He won't even show us his face.
Well, yeah, it's easier to show melons than to show your face.
And lastly,
We are going to tag
liking books. There we go.
Do Them Melons.
And my melons want to keep kids off drugs.
They do. They do. Got my melons locked and loaded today.
That was the melon tag. Thank you,
Yes.
Josh, for tagging us. This watermelon beer
It's delicious.
is really good. I like it a lot.
I do too.
Like, I could just sit here and drink a whole 6-pack probably.
Because it's not too
delicious.
sweet. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sweet but not too sweet, and it's just
So-
very tasty.
Would recommend the Watermelon Shandy from
Leinenkugel knows how to do a shandy.
They do. So there'll be links below where you can find us elsewhere on social media.
If you're not already subscribed to the restricted section and their melons, you should do it. But we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.